Okay, everybody. Hey, I think I'm gonna start posting more. Not much in for sleeping nowadays. I don't have air conditioning, and I'm gonna be in the South for a while, so it's kind of hard to sleep during that. Anyway, I just have some thoughts. I mean, how many of you can say that the economy is working well for us? How many people can say the government's working well for us? I've got a life for myself, I went out and bought 20 acres of land. I live on it now. I'm planning to build a home on it. I own a business. However, it's not doing so well. I'm pretty sure that most of you guys can understand. Possibly in the same boat. Or worse. But I can understand why people are angry. I can understand why the United States, people in the United States are angry. People in Canada are angry. Perhaps people in Mexico may be even angry too. I don't know. But what I do know, what I think I know, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But everyone's pissed because we watched our parents ride a bicycle around the block, metaphorically, and then give us the bicycle and expect us to win the Tour de France. Right? Buy a house for $100,000. Okay, that's something you can't do anymore. Our parents did it. Mine did. In one of the best, or one of the most expensive cities in the United States, and maybe North America. They lived under a system where if they followed the rules, then, what? But they got it. They got it. They got the house. They got the car, or cars. They got the kids. They got the school. They got everything, right? Just do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're told. It's really simple, right? Now we're in an economy, right? And we're being asked by our parents, we're being asked by a lot of people and everybody, why don't you just do that? Why don't you just buy a house, right? Why don't you just work for someone? Get a pension, have that work out for you. I mean, sure, that sounds good. You can go to work for Yellow. Oh, well, they just went down and they stole the pensions from people that were getting ready to retire working there over 30 years, right? I mean, you could be the guy that tells a guy who's been working at a company for 36 years for a pension that, hey, thanks for working, now you're going to have to work until you die. Because we stole your pension, right? Oh, yeah, you can't work here anymore, we're closing down. Yeah, you're going to have to find somewhere else where, Knight Swift Group decided that we're going to start laying off people because everything's horrible. FedEx Freight, the next company over that, people from Yellow can go to, oh, well, we're going to shut down 28 terminals and we're going to lay people off. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist. Maybe I'm nuts. Maybe I'm crazy. I think I'm a little bit ahead of the curve. Right? I see a lot of things from people in Canada, a lot of things from people from the West Coast, from the East Coast, where they're like, oh, well, I'm going to need to buy an RV, and if we pay it off real fast, it's going to be X amount. But then if we don't, it's going to be like 4 or 5 times more. And we're going to go to an RV park where we have to pay $3,000 to $1,000 rent every month just to live there, and that money goes away. Like, that's not money that you are investing for anything. Right? Whereas I'm ahead of the curve. I bought a travel trailer for $10,000 and I'm living it on 20 acres of land. Now I'm still paying on the 20 acres of land, but the land payments are $400 a month, and that's an investment. Because when I'm done paying, and I will be done paying, it's my land. I can do whatever I want. I got the deed title once, or I get the deed and title once I'm done. Right? 20 acres of land. You can't beat it. You get full rights. It's on a range. It's in a small town. Only permit you need is for septic, and that's $150. So I hear from my parents, oh, well, we're going to build this on our property, but we have to make it look used because we don't want to pay for all the expensive permits. And, if they catch us, we'll have to tear it down and get the permits anyways. Rebuild it or just forget about it, right? They did that about their deck at the lake house. Built a deck that was built better than the whole lake house was, but they didn't get the permits, so they needed to tear it down. That's cool, right? Calling that song, Richmond, north of Richmond, racist. Doesn't sound fair to me. Especially when the guy who made it came out and said, I'm not politically left or right. I'm just sick of this shit. And he jumped to number 1 on the charts. No money, no nothing. He was sitting there with maybe a couple $100 of recording equipment and whatever his musical instrument was in the middle of the woods, living in an RV, right? Look, that should be proof enough that people are pissed off. People from my generation, the generation to come, even people older than me, are pissed off, right? There's no game anymore. The game is you stay poor and you fucking suck shit, and that's it. You die. You work and die. That's the game, right? How can you win that? There's no, oh, you get your just desserts. Hey, if you work for me for so long, I'll take care of you. Hey, you can get that house, you can get the kids, you can get everything happily ever after. That's not anymore, right? The divorce rate is 50%, and about 80% of those divorces are initiated by the women. There's some women out there that are talking about starter husbands where they're going to go and they're going to get the money out of the husband by divorcing, and their plan was to divorce before they got married. That's what we have to look forward to. To look forward to all these natural disasters, right? First it was Hawaii, now they're stealing their land. Fires everywhere. Florida, the hurricanes are coming, you better get vaccinated, right? For whatever reason, that makes sense somehow, right? I don't know. And then all the fuel was tainted, right? Or a lot of the fuel stops that you were going to use to get out of Florida for the hurricane were tainted with diesel when they should have been gas. I mean, I know the logistics on it, and it doesn't make sense. I don't have time to talk to you about that, like how that just does not make sense, right? Now we got Burning Man. There's some kind of mysterious thing happening there. There's a mysterious illness coming through. They're all quarantined. And there's some people are saying, oh, it's coming from the mud, it's coming from this or that, because it's raining, and it's going to be raining. They don't think they can get anyone out till Tuesday. But they're in a swamp now. What's going on? What's going on? Am I just a problem child? Because I'm broke? Like everyone else. Is everyone else just as fucking broke as me? Or getting there? Is it just my friends, or is it everyone that's pissed? Who here thinks that everything's hunky-dory and thinks that the economy is booming and the economy is great? When the President of the United States helped Hawaii and helped Hawaiians with $700 each. I bet you, looking at the prices for fuel, looking at the price, just the prices for going shopping at the store, right? Just going shopping at the store. In mainland USA, you could spend about $700, so that doesn't even get you a week's worth of groceries for like 2 people. How many people with families over there in one of the most expensive places in the US, yet again, Hawaii? doesn't fucking make sense to me. How many of you guys feel the same way? How many people feel the vaccine hurts more people? Not saying any conspiracies about the vaccine, but what I experienced the first time when I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, I got really sick. The person that was with me wanted to take me to the hospital. Then a month after I was supposed to get the booster shot, I did get the booster shot. I got really fucking sick and went to the hospital, and they said, oh, it was COVID. And they tested me, and I showed up negative for COVID. Oh, it's strep. We need to quarantine him for strep now. They tested it was not strep. I mean, I'm talking about I was pale. I was sensitive to light. I was sensitive to everything. I drank 7 gallons of water, and I did not urinate. That's not normal, right? Well, my discharge paperwork says I had a sore throat. Right? It's not normal. I've had many people tell me that they've had the same thing when they didn't want to get the jab again for the booster, and a month later they had the same thing happen to them, and no one can explain why. At what point do we just keep our blinders on and just think that everything is okay? At what point do we start thinking, maybe something's wrong? Maybe there's something wrong with our country. Maybe we have to sit here and realize that. Maybe there's something wrong when we majorly probably don't even have people in our family that are as old as the people sitting in office making laws for us, especially when you put into there that the people that old in your family have a complete sound mind. But let's really think about this, okay? Even if they have a sound mind and they're that old in Congress, right? What do they have in common with us in the world? What kind of phones do they use? What kind of computers do they use? What general knowledge of our date and time do they have to make such laws, right? Can they comprehend our nation of people, the median age, the early age, the moderate age of people, and their needs and their wants and the way they live? I mean, look, you may make fun of millennials, you may make fun of all the generations, okay? The way they talk, you know, like, oh, that's on fleek, or I'm gonna eat something over there or something. I said, I don't even understand it, right? And I'm 32. How does someone in their 80s understand the everyday people in this country? How do they, right? The country was such a different place back in time. When I'm 80 years old, can I make laws for people in their 20s, in their 30s, in their teens? Can I? What disconnect would that look like? I'm betting it would be a very massive disconnect. I believe that I would not understand the world in which I inhabit at that time. Sure, I could be in it, I could live in it, I could do whatever. I could take advantage of the good things, kind of, right? But can I understand it the way someone in their 20s and 30s do? I don't know if I can. If I can't understand the lingo and the talk and the way people talk and what's important to them, you know, like a 16-year-old right now, what's that going to look like when I'm 80? Just a thought-provoking question to everybody about Congress, about the president, about who we elect, about who we're allowed to elect, how even if we elect anything or anybody anymore. See, we're in a time in our government where everything's backwards. People are right. The government's not supposed to know everything about you. You're supposed to know everything about the government. But, I mean, when a bill is sitting on someone's desk and it's just one bill and it's over this fucking tall, that's just one bill. They don't have time to read it, do they? You don't. Because that's just one bill. How are you going to know about one bill when they have thousands of them coming in like that? Why are they that big? Why are things paperclipped in? Right? Oh, in order to get the Hawaiian aid, well, you must accept the Ukrainian aid package that's 10 times more, right? You held the money hostage for Hawaii. Hostage. On the back of what we're going to give Ukraine. How does that make them feel? Is everything hunky-dory? I mean, look at Pearl Harbor, right? Look at how we reacted on Pearl Harbor. We reacted angrily. We made that a priority. Right? Regardless of how it happened, the Maui fires happened. Right? And we just paperclipped the help that we can give in relations to whether or not our government's gonna give money to Ukraine. Kind of makes you feel like Hawaii was secondhand to Ukraine, right? Which Ukraine is Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and Boeing's wet dream. Hey, we get to spend a lot of money in arms trade deal, right? Without the America's guilt of killing our own troops yet. And I say yet because we keep getting in worse and worse, and you know, there's going to be only so much time before it expands. And what if Russia just decides to say, you know, ding ding, let's go? Then we're going to have to bring our troops from Poland. Canada's going to have to bring the troops from Lithuania, and we're going to go after it, right? So then, oh well, we had no choice. Now American troops yet again are gonna die. Doesn't matter who fucking wins at that time. It doesn't matter who wins. Because the people that matter in this country won already. The rich people. Yet again. The arms sellers, right? War dogs. The people that don't give a shit about us. How is that fair? So why are we so angry in America? Why are we so angry? Do we have a right to be angry? Or is everything just fine and am I just stressed out because I have no air conditioning in the South and I have no money and I'm working really hard and maybe, yeah, I overextended myself because the market was supposed to do what it did for 12 years, but now it's not. My fault. I understand. Or do we have the right to be angry? Do we have a right to sit here and wonder what's going on and to start to say how angry we are and to try somehow to change the way things are going? I mean, honestly, do you think that we could and should be happier in one of the best nations in the world, or supposedly to be best nations in the world? I don't even know. See, loving your country is kind of like loving your friend, I think. When your friend starts fucking up and starts messing up and struggling really bad, and your friend starts getting in trouble with the law, he starts getting into drugs, he starts doing all these things, who is your best friend? The person that just shrugs and says, not my problem, everything's fine with me? Or the friend that looks at you and goes, bro, you disappointed me, bro, you made me angry because I know you're better than this. And let's work together to make it better, right? Who's the real friend there? So, who are the real friends to this nation? The ones that turn a blind eye to everything and just say, I don't see a problem? Or the people that want to fight as hard as they can to see change and who are expressing it openly now? I'm going to let you decide, but I already have decided. Think of it as you may, because I know you will. But let me know, and definitely share this if you like. I'd like to see it put around, you know. See what everyone thinks. The more people, the better. Not just my friends groups, but if everyone could see this, if as many people can see this as possible. I'm really curious to see what the countries think, US and Canada. And if people see it overseas, say hey and say where you're from. But anyway, comment below. Let me know. Yet again, this is Mike signing out. Cheers.